Hi, hello food drawers, how's it going? So this is a very spontaneous video. I saw a reel and I need to talk about it because I think it's a very big and very curious topic, and I am struggling to understand why so many people are losing their marbles over this. I want to know your opinion. I want to speak my opinion and have a civil discussion. A little note, in this video I will try to use words like sexual or spicy or suggestive instead of using actual explicit words, because I will have to use those words a lot and I don't want to bleep it out every time. So I was scrolling and I came across this reel. And I was like, maybe that could be a fun topic for a video. Like, does your cultural background and where you came from affect your artistic style or something like that? And I always love reading the comments. I often lurk in the comment sections of videos. So I wanted to see what people were saying. Was anyone saying anything funny? But as soon as I started reading the comments, I realized, oh no. Funny is off the table today. The art community is not in a funny mood right now. I don't know, but I don't like you. I'm so glad I'm not the only one weirded out by these drawings. Porn addict, Gooner Nation? I don't know, but you are a man for sure. Go outside, shower, look at a reference, talk to a real life woman, delete social media. What are we doing here? I don't know why I expected to see any type of civil comments on an Instagram reel. That was pretty silly of me. But genuinely, after reading the first few comments, I had to go back and rewatch the reel because I had no idea what these folks were talking about. Nothing in those drawings stood out to me at all the first time I watched it. Maybe because the artist was asking about faces, so I was focusing on faces. On the second watch, yeah, I noticed. It does stand out quite a bit. I believe I've touched on this topic several times before on this channel. The discussion about sexualization in character design and whether it's okay or not okay to judge people for drawing not safe for work or spicy or suggestive art. Now, first things first, I'll say that to me, not safe for work, sexual and suggestive art are three different types of art. They are on different levels. Not safe for work, how I define it, is explicit art with partial or full nudity. Basically corn and all that. Sexual art, how I define it, is characters in underwear or swimsuits in suggestive poses, performing suggestive gestures or making suggestive facial expressions. So like making ahegao faces, sticking out their tongue, biting lips, squeezing parts of their body, you know what I'm saying. And suggestive art is just characters drawn to look very conventionally attractive with sometimes exaggerated features, wearing revealing or tight-fitting clothing. You know, just spicy art. The art in question in this video I would personally define as suggestive, because characters are not standing in any inappropriate poses or making any suggestive facial expressions. No, it's only because they have those features of their body is why people perceive it as suggestive. Replace them with a character with a regular body and that same pose will not look suggestive in the slightest. It's the same in real life. If a woman with small breasts wears a tight turtleneck, nobody will perceive it as suggestive or inappropriate. It will probably be perceived as the opposite. It will be perceived as quite reserved because the turtleneck doesn't show any skin. But if a woman with very big breasts wears that same turtleneck, then suddenly it becomes inappropriate. And if she's a teacher, she can't wear that to school when another teacher with smaller breasts can. You know what I'm saying. A woman can be fully covered and dressed totally appropriately, but just because she has a curvier body type, her outfit may be perceived differently. So one point of criticism in the comments was calling out the artist for being ew, gross, disgusting, gooner, pervert who has a corn addiction and needs to go outside. But unless all these commentators are highly religious, I don't really see an explanation for a reaction like this. In my opinion, two cases when this reaction would be called for is if A, they were drawing other people in an inappropriate manner without their consent, that is gross and you are a weird creep if you do that, and B, if they were drawing minors in that way. That is not just gross, that is jail. go to jail. But I don't see why you would call someone out for the way they draw their own adult characters. Here's my thought process. I'm asking a question. Can a woman wear a revealing outfit and feel comfortable in that revealing outfit and go outside and have fun? Yes? Of course, yes, that's not even a question. Now, should she be shamed, called names, or hated for that? For just choosing to feel spicy and feel good and wear something fun? Should she be called a pervert or a gooner or a part of the problem because she chooses to express herself sexually through her outfits? I think there's something very wrong with you if you think she should. And I hope most of you would agree that women should be allowed to wear and feel comfortable wearing whatever we want. Because clothing is one of the many ways of self-expression, including sexual self-expression. And I wish every woman could feel comfortable and safe in anything she chooses to wear, because I personally cannot wear a lot of outfits I want to wear outside because I feel scared for my life, or judged, or stared at, and I think it should not be that way. Now, I might be missing something, but I genuinely don't see how art is different from an outfit. Art is also one of the main ways of self-expression for people, and sexual self-expression especially. It has always been that way, I feel like. The beauty standards are constantly changing, but artists throughout all eras and generations have been portraying those beauty standards in their art, admiring those perfect bodies or perfect faces. Should this be called gooner art? Is this a gooner sculpture? Do these artists need to touch grass? I feel like sexuality and art have always gone hand in hand. Now, I will say I'm not a super sexual person myself. On a scale of libido and all that stuff, I'm pretty low. I'm almost at the bottom. I don't have much desire for it or many fantasies. I think about that type of stuff very rarely. But I sometimes have a desire to draw something spicy, just like a thirst trap on paper. One time I did a pause challenge and I got a prompt to draw a girl in a bunny costume. So I did, and I still remember that comment that asked me, "Did you enjoy drawing like a man? I see your character has a butt, therefore you are a freaky gooner pervert." When I was a teenager, do you know how much gooner art I had in my sketchbooks? How many naked men and women I used to draw in all appropriate and inappropriate poses? There was a period of time when I used to draw so much of that stuff. Was that because I was a pervert or a disgusting gooner? No, dude, I was a teenager with hormones and puberty who had no other way of exploring their sexuality. Like, I was a minor, so I couldn't dress inappropriately or engage in any activities of that sort, and I never really had any interest in watching or reading porn and stuff, so I found a different outlet to express myself and explore that stuff through art. And in my opinion, that is probably one of the healthiest ways you can explore it. One of the safest, for sure. Would you shame your child if you found inappropriate drawings in their sketchbook? If so, I think you would be a pretty bad parent. I think I would be kind of relieved that my child chose this way of sexual expression that doesn't put them in danger or unsafe situations with unsafe people. No matter where you are on that scale of sexuality, you can't deny that it is a big part of human life, and it is completely healthy and normal to explore and express yourself in that way. And if a person chooses to express that part of them through art or writing or through the way they dress or any other way that does not harm neither themselves nor the people around them, I really don't understand why you would have a problem with that. Again, just like myself, you might not be that much into it, but it doesn't mean that it's unhealthy or that other people can't be into it. And another point of critique in the comments had to do with specifically unrealistic body proportions of the characters. Oh, so just because the artist is a girl, it makes it completely okay to over-sexualize women with unrealistic body proportions? Suddenly it's okay to objectify women when a woman is doing it? Are you all nuts? How are you gonna be a woman and draw like that? You're part of the problem, queen. Don't know why people are getting so mad at people who are saying men, because it's a perfectly viable opinion considering the way she draws. It's weird that a woman would draw other women anatomically incorrect as if they don't have their own body as a 24/7 reference. If you are going to be one of the few women who does art, at least make the boobs look like actual ones. This take, I think, is absolutely ridiculous. What are you even saying? It's weird to draw characters with unrealistic proportions because you have your own body as a reference. Those are obviously very stylized and honestly very skillfully stylized characters. Those are cartoon characters. Have you ever watched a cartoon? Nothing is realistic in a cartoon. That's literally the whole point of a cartoon. Being cartoony, being stylized and exaggerated. Why does a woman in this fictional universe look like this? Well, maybe because a man looks like this and can stop a train with his bare hands. Is that natural? Does this guy look natural to you? Or this guy? Or this girl? Or this girl? Or this guy? Why would I use my own body as a reference when I want to draw a cartoon character? If I want to draw Mr. Incredible, do I have to look like Mr. Incredible? Because yes, I can see a side of people having a problem with sexualization, but having a problem with stylization? What is that about? Why are you even using that as an argument? I've only ever heard that coming from very old school conservative art teachers who believe that the only real art is realism, and they completely brush off any other type of art that is even remotely stylized. But they are objectively just wrong and very close-minded people. I don't understand why this is even an argument, and why are you telling an artist that they should only draw realistic bodies because they have their own body as a reference. And besides that, I've been noticing this huge double standard going on because I've seen countless artworks of male characters drawn in very inappropriate ways with very unrealistic body proportions, being 3 meters tall with shoulders 2 meters wide and 12 oiled up abs with a face of a K-pop idol. And I don't think I've ever seen a comment section raise a concern like this. All the comments are usually just yay, oh my god, daddy, oh my god, help, I'm pregnant. Suddenly everyone is on board and okay with it and understands that it's just a fun way for an artist to express themselves and thirst over an anime guy. Never seen a comment section be ew, you're disgusting, this is so messed up, this is so unrealistic, nobody can have 12 abs and be this tall, go touch grass and talk to a real life man. Never seen that. Is it only okay for us to thirst over unrealistic men but not over unrealistic women? And I'm asking that as a very straight person, by the way. Look, this artist also draws men, and I wouldn't say they look much more realistic, but I don't think showcasing this drawing would get the same level of reaction. It's one thing for some prude to get upset at this art, but seeing other artists in the comments get upset over this is just baffling. I see this a lot on Instagram more than any other platform. Any character that doesn't have perfect realistic proportions is gooner art to them. Not you all policing how someone draws their OCs. This is such a non-issue. I honestly hate the weird and ill-intended comments that you're getting just because of your art style. People in these comments need to realize that art and sexuality have always existed hand in hand. Exactly what I was saying. I just don't quite understand what kind of message these people are trying to spread, that art should never ever be sexual, but it's always been, and it's normal because it's a part of our lives and people should be allowed to explore and express that side of them, whether it's a man or a woman. And I especially hate how people are pressing this artist even harder because she is a woman, and how dare she. If it was a man, I mean, duh, what did you expect? Boys will be boys, that's what they always do. But you're a woman and you're being horny? That's so disappointing. Queen, do better. Are we going backwards? Back to the times when women were not allowed to desire and only allowed to be desired? Or is it neither desire nor desired now? Let women express themselves sexually however they want to. For many women, art might be the only safe way to express themselves, because even putting on a certain type of outfit can be kind of very scary and dangerous. Have you ever lived as a woman? Yes, she is drawing the stylized, exaggerated version of the current beauty standard, but again, that has always been a thing that artists did, and it's not the artist's fault that the beauty standard is the way it currently is. It's constantly changing its shape, but it's always there, and the societal beauty standards make us conditioned to be attracted to certain types of features. So when we want to express ourselves sexually and express our desires in our drawings, we draw those features that we find attractive. And different artists might have different tastes and perceptions of beauty, but still, every artist will most likely base their art around the things they find attractive or aesthetic. It's just different for everyone, and I am very against people being shamed for it. Again, when it doesn't have to do with minors or drawing real people without their consent or any other harmful form of it, when it's literally just a person expressing themselves and drawing fictional adult characters, I think judging for that is the same as judging someone for the way they dress. Rude and uncalled for, because I believe you cannot sexualize yourself. Sexualization is something other people can do to you. When you sexualize yourself, that is not sexualization, that is sexual self-expression. And just like an outfit is a part of you, your art is also a part of you. It's how an artist portrays themselves. It's okay if you, as a viewer, look at it and you think it's cringe or it makes you uncomfortable. That's totally fine. There are plenty of things that make me uncomfortable and many types of art that I'm frankly not a fan of. But that's a me problem, you know? Just because I am not into something doesn't mean it's wrong or that other people can't be into it or should be judged for being into it. I'm not someone who enjoys reading fan fiction, for example, or listening to ASMR. Like, I tried listening to ASMR for sleep and I just realized it doesn't work for me, but I know it works for a lot of other people and they enjoy it, and that's great. And this video is just one example out of many cases I've seen online of people being judged for their art. I agree that the more graphic, not safe for work content should not be in the open on public platforms and should not be shown to people who did not consent to seeing it, especially on platforms with many users being children. But this is not that type of content. It's not graphic, it's not harmful, it's just an artist expressing themselves, drawing whatever they find appealing. I do think it's awesome when an artist has a big range of characters and themes in their drawings. It takes so much skill to master drawing characters of all shapes and sizes and genders and ages. That is so much work, and it's very admirable when an artist is capable of that. But I would never judge an artist for sticking to just one niche and drawing just a few specific things they like. I see nothing wrong with it. In the end of the day, art is about doing the things you're passionate about. I don't think artists should receive questions like, why do you only draw girls? Or why do you only draw animals? Or only cars? Or why do you only draw creepy stuff? Or spicy stuff? Or weird abstract stuff? I think it's cool that every artist has their own niche, and you as an art consumer have so many artists to choose from, and you will for sure find an artist that will scratch that very specific itch of yours. The art community is very diverse on its own because of how big it is, so I don't see a reason to police one specific artist and demand diversity from them. Let people draw what they want. Every niche has its audience, and every artist wants to attract that specific audience that will enjoy their niche. If you're not into that niche, that means you're not the target audience, and it's fine. But yeah, this is my perspective. I'm very curious to see what you have to say on this. This is a pretty complex topic. I understand people might have very different and strong opinions, but please be respectful in the comments. We're not on Instagram Reels here. Thank you so much for watching, and good night, good day, goodbye.